minutes left now. One goal each. Gimmel. Murdoch. It's goal! Celtic has scored! Towards Colin Steen. Here's Steen, it's a goal! It's a goal by Steen, what a goal!
Only 3 Scottish football clubs have ever won a major European competition. But just as the names of famous battles can be seen in the streets of a small town, so Scottish success in Europe finds a hopeful echo among the humbler Scottish clubs.
Well, when we started winning this, they wanted to rename us and call us Real Forfar and Atletico Forfar. But it doesn't look really realistic to, as we look across the country just now. But, you know, there's wonderful things have happened in this world, and you never know.
You never know might be the motto of provincial Scottish football. The pub wisdom among supporters of the less successful teams has always been the opposition only have 11 men in the park, the same as we have. Unexpected things can happen, and they often do. When St Mirren started to score against Slavia Prague, they were breaching more than a defence. They were puncturing an assumption. One of the most famous European capitals wasn't necessarily superior to a grey west of Scotland town. As the realisation grew of what was happening, Paisley became for a night one of the footballing capitals of Europe. St Mirren were not only scoring a victory, they were fulfilling for their fans the dream of every smaller club's supporters. If it can come true for them, why not for us? That dream of an identity expressed on the football park is the first key to the importance club football has had in Scotland. But the harsh truth is that very few of the smaller clubs have ever fulfilled that dream, except in a comparative way. Their historic victories have tended to be against opposition even less well known than themselves. Stirling Albion's most spectacular win came in the Scottish Cup on the 8th of December 1984. They won 20-0, but then their opposition was Selkirk, a name illustrious more for rugby than for football. The Arbroath team of 1885 won 36-0 in the Scottish Cup, but the defeated side, Aberdeen Bonaccord, is reputed to have been a cricket team. Perhaps they played with bats. More substantial realisations of the small club's dream have happened. In 1938, East Fife became the only second division club to win the Scottish Cup. The Cup has always been the most likely route for a small club towards success. Unlike the sustained effort required to win the league, the Cup is a more immediate and dramatic competition. To fans and players alike, it offers sudden death or sudden glory. In 1952, before 136,000 fans, the glory went to Motherwell. Their hold on the substance behind the dream was brief.
This promises to be a battle royal, for both teams have won the Cup twice in their history, and both are determined to bring off the third. But neither side's defence is giving anything away. Now the Hibernian end, with slippery Joe Coyle giving the defence a headache. Leslie dives and McClellan gets it clear. Now it's Coyle again. He runs onto it and shoots, and it's off Baxter's toe into the net. And so the battle sways to and fro, with Hibs doing their best to land that precious equaliser. But Clyde hang on to their lead till the end, and when the whistle blows, it's Harry Haddock who receives the cup from Mr. John Park, President of the Scottish FA. Well done, Clyde. You earned it the hard way against very determined opponents.
In 1959, Aberdeen were struggling to avoid relegation. St Mirren hadn't been doing too well in the league either when the Scottish Cup competition began, but the two teams contested the Cup final. Tommy Bryceland gave the first indication that St Mirren were going to win the Scottish Cup for only the second time. His improvised dance would be more fully developed in the streets of Paisley later that day. St Mirren had cause for pride. They were a part-time team who had the individual talent and self-confidence to beat Celtic 4-0 in the semi-final. Aberdeen were not about to halt the run of a side which had overwhelmed one of the old firm. Jerry Baker scored the goal that finally convinced Aberdeen. St Mirren 3, Aberdeen 1. In 1961, Dunfermline Athletic were in the Scottish Cup final for the first time. They refused to be intimidated by Celtic. The game came to be known as Connacht's Final, in honour of the Dunfermline goalkeeper. But another famous name played some part in the victory.
And that's Jock Steen coming in. I've never seen such a bunch of sandboys.
Not all the less famous teams have had their greatest moments in the Cup.
McLean. It's a beautiful one. Scudder's a goal!
In 1965, on a day as bright as the memory of a childhood summer, Kilmarnock needed to beat Hearts by 2 goals to win the Scottish League. They had been runners-up for the 2 previous seasons.
Still Black. Putting it forward to McElroy. And it's a goal!
But it still only needed Hearts to score 1 goal to win the title.
Ferguson. Well, I don't know how long this game's going to go on. It's played well overdue by me. A great save! Magnificent save by Ferguson. Willie Waddle has gone mad. He's running onto the field. There is Willie Waddle. Right on he goes. There is Willie Waddle, and what a joyful man he must be. Fantastic scenes. Waddle being hugged by supporters, by players.
Some famous moments have been so unexpected that history didn't have a television camera handy. Scottish Cup first round 1967. Berwick Rangers 1, Glasgow Rangers 0.
Up comes Hansen for this. It's a good one. Cleared off the line. And it's there. It's a goal. It's a phone towards Laurie. Laurie with it. Oh, what a goal by Laurie. Laurie taking that. And it's almost there. It's a goal. It's number 3 for Thistle, almost unbelievably. It's the chip ball. There's ball in there. It's a goal.
Glasgow Celtic 1, Partick Thistle 4. But most of the games that have gone against the bookies' odds have not caused such great surprise.
There's Stanton with a chance. And it's there.
When Hibernian beat Celtic 2-1 in the League Cup final of 1973, they were confirming what football history has taught. Usually it takes a big team to beat a big team.
And it's a goal. Jim O'Rourke.
In Scotland, the major clubs have tended to divide the honours among themselves. The smaller teams have mainly fed their dreams by preying on one another. Like a home movie called The Goalkeeper's Nightmare, Stirling Albion supporters may rerun in memory their total demolition of Selkirk. But more substantial achievements for small clubs have nearly always proved elusive. In the semi-final replay of the Scottish Cup in 1982, Forfar were determined not to accept the assumed superiority of Rangers. Their persistent belief in themselves earned them a respite from what many had thought was the inevitable. But Rangers' embarrassment was temporary. Forfar lost 3-1. Yet again, a small club had found that they were not only playing against 11 men, but were fighting against the weight of a long and formidable tradition.